It's my pleasure now to catch up with a young man who I've seen on video. You probably have too. Young Vish and his Vish List. Vish, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, that's good, mate. Thank you for having a chat to us too, Vish. Just tell me a little bit about your history. Where did you come from?
All right. Well, I'm actually originally from the Philippines. I was there I grew up there, born there, and I came to Australia when I was 16, and I did a couple of university degrees over here. And what happened was I went to Dubai after I finished university, so I did a gap year over there, and then I was there for about 2 years, and then I came back to Brisbane.
One of the things that I've noticed is the way that you're using video online. One of the things that I know is that only 8% of agents in Australia are using it effectively, and I'd certainly put you in that category. What is it about video that attracts you? Why do you think it's such a powerful tool?
Oh, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think you can actually, it's a medium where you can actually get your creative juices flowing. I think video tells more of a story than pictures. And it's a great way to get prospective purchasers, or just anyone watching, get them emotionally engaged. And I think when anyone's emotionally engaged on the topic, they spend more time on that topic, they do a bit more research, and hopefully in the property industry will drive more inquiry and get people through the door. I've
been a little bit disappointed with some of the videos that are being produced, sexually based, or it's all about the agent as opposed to the product. You seem to have a nice mix between getting a really good personality out there, but at the same time adequately promoting the property. Is that your aim?
Yeah, I would say I've seen those videos you're mentioning, and I have to agree with what you're saying, with your comments. I would say that the main premise of the video is that the vendor is paying for the video, and that you would have to market the property. That's your first priority, to market the property. The elements I choose, instead of doing anything sexy or controversial, my element of choice is actually humor. Because I think that if someone actually gets a good giggle or a good laugh in the video, they actually tend to pass it around more, and again, hopefully drive more inquiry that way.
Has it been a successful listing tool for you?
Oh, definitely, definitely. The first video was a 30-second video, and that was the first one we were jumping on the bed. And once we go to listing presentations and we show that how that worked to get buyers through the door and how the inquiry levels just drastically increased. We got the 60-second videos, we got the 90-second videos, and we were just able to upgrade from there on and go from strength to strength.
I've heard you talk about the Jedi sales agent training. Tell me about that.
Well, look, training is probably my #1 priority. The way we started was, the way I got into the industry was my uncle actually had a property firm in Dubai, and so I was there for 2 years, and very different culture over there, but very different methods of approaching real estate. And we basically understood very basics of marketing, how it was different from advertising, principles of negotiation, and trying to bring that training here into us, basically here, and apply the techniques and methods I learned over there to here. And one of the things I believe is to continuously improve myself. So whether it be to external factors or whether it's in-house training we provide, just trying to continuously think outside the box and be a bit more creative in how we approach things.
Where does Vish want to go? What are your dreams?
Look, the short-term goals are that I'd like to be the #1 or the more dominant agent here in Brisbane CBD, and fingers crossed, knock on wood, I think we're heading in the right direction. And I really enjoy working in the Brisbane CBD. I think it's the right demographic, that it fits to my personality type as well. I actually put my money where my mouth is, and I actually have my investment properties in Brisbane CBD, so I can relate to the owner-occupiers as well as I can relate to investors. I think it's perfect.
Talking about putting your money where your mouth is, when you first launched your business, you started with quite a generous incentive for people to list with you. Tell me about that.
Oh, well, marketing 101, I had to disrupt the way real estate agents work over here. And I had to, basically it's called market disruption, when you try to enter the market, breaking when you're very new. And basically, since when I came here, no one knew who I was, no one knew me from a bar of soap. So the incentive I gave people to list with me was for every new listing from at a certain date, so from August to September, upon settlement of that sale, I'll give them an iPad. And you know, guess what? Everyone loves an iPad, so it worked really well actually.
A very expensive listing tool. Are you still doing it?
Not for a listing tool. Right now I give referral gifts to people who actually refer me clients in terms of listings, or if I have the same buyer who comes in over and over again, or if someone sends me a buyer here and there, I will give them a sort of generous incentive. And yes, sometimes it'll be iPads or laptops or gift vouchers or a nice bottle of champagne, something like that. But I definitely believe in rewarding your referrals and also rewarding your clients. Definitely.
Well, I think from looking at the numbers, you're probably on track to do, you know, well over 100 sales this year. And just tell me, you've been in the industry now 2 years. Just give me some of your achievements in that time.
Okay, great question. Well, the first year in the industry, I was Rookie of the Year with the company I was in, so that was a great achievement. The most recent achievements was probably last month, January. I got Agent of the Month with Open House Realty Group, who I'm currently with now. And probably in terms of sales, there was in December to January, basically this year, there were 3 significant properties in a prominent building in Brisbane CBD, in the Aurora Towers. And a couple of them, well, one of them was on the market for 2 years with probably 3 or 4 different agencies. And I was able to get them a really good result in 14 days.
How did you do that?
Well, one of the things we used was video. So that, I mean, we shook things up quite well with that. The second thing is, in terms of marketing, what we did in Dubai was we used these things called concept shots. So I don't know if you've had a look at my realestate.com listings, but normally if someone goes there, they'll see pictures of bedroom, bathroom sort of scenarios. But my cover shots will be either Corona beer, or you have wine, or you have chocolates. And so for the Unit 508, we had it 2 glasses of wine overlooking the view, and that was the hero shot. And that's what drove most of the inquiry. People got clicked because they were quite curious. They were intrigued to see that sort of picture. So that saw the video, and then got the inquiry through the door. And basically, we also did, we coupled it with a really good pricing strategy. And there you go. So it's not rocket science.
Are you distributing your videos through your database, or is it purely relying on going viral?
No, we send it out to as many people as we can. So we put it on Facebook, we put it on YouTube, we send it out as an email campaign, we put it on realestate.com, we put it on domain.com, just everywhere. The more eyeballs we get on that video, the better.
What's your outlook for the market? I know you probably want to talk about Brisbane, but try and take it a little bit broader for me. What are you hearing from buyers now about their faith in the current real estate market in Australia?
Excellent. Well, look, if I had a crystal ball, we'd all be rich. But look, from a microeconomic point of view, what I'm seeing nowadays is that last year we had 5 or 6 people turning up to an open for inspections. And this year, since January, we've had 15, 20. Last week we had 31 people turn for an open for inspections, and we sold 3 properties on the Saturday. So people are out there, and they're actually putting offers on the table and purchasing properties. So I would say I probably don't read what's on the newspaper quite a lot, because they can be biased in some cases. But I base the market movements on what I see with my own 2 eyes on a Saturday open for inspection, or for inspections during the week. And I would say that activity has definitely increased 2012, and I would say that a lot of people agree with me on that. In terms of values, look, I think we may have to wait a while before we see an uptrend in values.
Is that related to supply? Is there an oversupply in the Brisbane CBD?
I would think at this point in time, not really, but when the buildings that are currently off the plan come to fruition, yes, there might be an oversupply. Yeah.
Do you become involved in sales off the plan?
Well, I used to, and that was what I was doing in Dubai for 2 years. But I would say it takes a different marketing mindset to sell something off the plan.
Tell me what you mean.
Well, in Dubai, it was off the plan means you're selling a piece of paper, and it's very hard to sell that piece of paper because people want to see something tangible. So you'll have to approach the marketing structure behind the pricing points a bit differently. And in Dubai, it worked really well. But when I worked here for the first 6 months, I was selling off the plan, and I found it that it was I preferred selling a secondary or something more tangible where I can actually see proper growth. Off the plan nowadays, it's a bit hard for me to predict what's going to happen, the values of the property. So I would say that there's people specializing in that area, and I would say that that's probably not my primary focus for now.
So what would be your advice to a consumer who says to you, should I buy a property off the plan, or tell me the pros and cons of buying off the plan to start with?
Well, in Dubai it was great, okay? Because I guess different countries operate very differently. Here in Australia, I would say that one thing is that you can probably get better value by buying something already built. And the reason
why is that?
Because once they're already built, owners have, all the buildings in CBD are all privately owned, and I would say that buyers have better opportunity of picking up bargains when owners are facing certain circumstances which force them to sell the property and selling below market value. When it's off the plan, the prices are structured by the developers, and yeah, they might offer you discounting incentives to buy right away, but the increase in value from off the plan to construction is probably slim to none nowadays. That's what we're seeing. That we're seeing on some projects that have already been coming to fruition, and I'm a bit biased on that sort of thing.
So when you say buying off the plan, effectively you're buying at tomorrow's price, so you've got to be prepared to hold for a bit longer?
Definitely, I would agree 100%. People who bought Charlotte Towers off the plan, people who bought Festival Towers off the plan, I would say, the property values I'm selling now are pretty much the same to none in 7 years. But people who bought Charlotte Towers a year ago, or people who bought Festival Towers a year ago, have made 20-30 grand from buying from someone who was needing to sell.
Tell me now, for buyers of units maybe in the city, obviously, the smaller units, the one-bedroom units, what are the things that they should be aware of?
Oh, a good question. I would say the floor plan. That's a very, very important thing. The view that you get as well, if you're going to get blocked out eventually, that's a very, very important thing as well. The floors that you're on, I would say that's quite good to know. The buildings, some buildings have really, really good body corporate structures. Some buildings are quite high in terms of body corporate. I would say those key things are what makes you choose which building over the next.
One of the reasons a lot of people buy in the city, of course, is to get a view or an outlook. The danger there is that outlook could quite easily be built out. Is that a problem? Oh,
definitely, I agree with you. But from what we're seeing is that most of the development applications are actually happening now north of the CBD, so towards Bowen Hills and Fortitude Valley. So I would say that you might get a couple of high-rises more coming up in the CBD, but as of now, it's what you see is what you get.
Vish, in closing, just for those people who may want to get into the industry, you're 2 years down the track, you're very successful, your business looks like it's going to continue to grow. What advice would you give to someone looking at entering the market now?
Excellent question. A couple of things I would say is that before I got in, I actually had a big chunk of savings, which allowed me to survive the first year. The hardest part is surviving the first 6 months of the first year because you have to create a name for yourself. The second thing I would say is to constantly educate yourself, so attend training seminars and read books. There were 10 rookies when I started, and the sales manager who hired as well. At the end of 6 months, 8 of them either left the industry or resigned. And even the sales manager was made redundant as well, so it was only me and someone else. And I guess me and the other guy were prepared to do things that the other guys were not.
Like what?
Prospect. We were cold calling insanely on the phone. We heavily invested in ourselves to make ourselves different. So my business cards, creating a website, creating a Facebook page. A lot of the guys I was with didn't see the value in doing that. I was on the mind frame of thinking for the next 20 years. And building the brand name was the first thing I wanted to do when I came in. And I'll suggest that to everyone as well.
So how do we get a hold of Vish, and how do we get on the Vish list?
Well, that's the best question, I guess. Well, jump on my website. It's www.vishuttam.com.au, or I've got a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Vish List. There's a YouTube channel as well, or you can give me a call on 0409891339.
And that is Vish List with a V, Vish List, and your last name for the website again?
Uttam, U-T-T-A for Alpha, M for Mary.
Vish, thank you for giving me your time. No. I'm on the Vish List.
Nice to hear you, Kevin. Thank you for having me.